Hello. Let me check in with chapters 9 and part of 10 of Stnr, which, so far at least, I'm not finding as quite as compelling. It's much more pertains to Stnr's professional life as a teacher, where he gets approached by he's got like a full kind of graduate level seminar class, and he gets approached by a student. This is Walker, Charles Walker, a second-year PhD candidate, who assists Dr. Lomax, who we've met earlier on, a very handsome man with kind of hunchback and kind of his own disabilities. Charles, the young man, what is it? He's a figure is shuffled out of the darkness of the hall and into the light. Stnr blinked sleepily against the dimness, recognizing a student who he had noticed in the halls but did not know. The young man's left arm hung stiffly at his side, and his left foot dragged as he walked. His face was pale and round, his horn-rimmed glasses were round, and his black thin hair was parted precisely on the side and lay close to the round skull. And, he comes, has to sit down, Stnr kind of comes and has a let's sit and talk, and he lowers himself into the straight wooden chair behind Stnr's desk. His leg extended in a straight line, and his left hand, which was permanently twisted into a half-closed fist, rested upon it. He smiled, bobbed his head, and said with a curiously self-depreciating air, "You may not know me, sir. I'm Charles Walker, a second-year PhD candidate. I assist Dr. Lomax." And he kind of reluctantly does allow the kid into the class, and he is never prepared. He doesn't do the reading. He goes off in flights of fancy. He gets his facts all wrong, there's another student, a female student, who is kind of who is kind of doing the auditing the class, that does a paper, and we have a kind of weird interaction with her where he compliments her on a thing, and she's like, I don't know, it's like she doesn't even want his approval or something like that, even though that they seem to have kind of gotten their kind of inspiration from him, some of the other students. So that's odd. And so Walker just keeps on delaying his paper until finally he says, like, yeah, you either put something in or you're getting failed. He comes in, he does this whole diatribe which attacks the young woman who did her thesis before. Basically, it's just all off the top of his head. It's all complete bullshit. It doesn't really have anything to do with his topic. And he's like, look, you didn't follow the topic. You haven't done the reading. Show me this paper. Show me the actual paper that you did, and maybe, we can kind of that. It's like, nope, I'm not going to show it to you. You didn't ask for anybody else's. I'm not going to show it to you. You're discriminating against me. And it's like, well, then I'm failing you. Lomax sticks up for him. And I guess, it's one of these things of, do they have a relationship? Is it just simply the fact that they both have physical kind of handicaps? Because when they say, okay, well, we're just going to do an oral examination, Stnr really doesn't want to be a part of it, but he has to be. It's a part of the rules. His friend Finch lets him know. How is it, before or after? No, it's after. But they do this, and Lomax very obviously is trying to coach this kid through. And there's another outside professor there who tries to ask questions, and then Lomax always interrupts and kind of interprets and stuff. And Stnr gets pissed, and he says, "Look, I'm just going to ask you simple questions, and I want an answer from you." He cuts off Lomax when he tries to kind of coach him or things. It's like, no. And the kid completely fails all of it. And it's like, it's really, really basic stuff. And so they have this battle. We're now into chapter 10. And Finch also lets him know, Lomax is going to be up for the departmental head. So look, he's going to be vindictive if you press this. And Stoner's like, no, I'm not. And he recalls the words of David Master about this place being a refuge, and it being a refuge for the crippled and the incompetent. And he's like, Walker isn't the incompetent. He's the world. We'd be letting in the world into our refuge, is what he says, which is interesting. It's like, this guy would be a complete disaster as, like, if he gets his PhD and becomes a teacher, he would be a complete disaster in classes, and I won't let it. And he kind of makes a stand there, and it's just, I haven't gotten all the way through the chapter, but you just know this is going to be the professional suicide of Stoner. That these are fiefdoms, these are places where guys stay in these positions until they drop dead, and Lomax is going to get into this position, and he's going to be there until he drops dead, and he's going to make Stoner's professional life crap, and probably promote this ass Walker up through the things. And God help us, he's entertaining and definitely got magnetic of a personality that I could see him ruling over a little fiefdom of classes, and being the bullshit artist that kind of wins his way through. I mean, you could sort of somewhat say that about Finch in some ways, though he's much more benign, and I think actually does probably know a little bit of his stuff, at least, or stays out of the other stuff. But these are guys that have delusions of just of spinning stories, but have got nothing to do with actual kind of love of literature. It's just, they're swindlers. They're flim-flam artists, in the guise of lovers at the worshipping of literature. You just know it's not going to end well for Stoner, because Stoner doesn't have a political bone in his body, and he's got no way. He's not going to be able to maneuver. He doesn't have any allies. It's going to be brutal. So in that way, yeah, it is. I found the other chapters a little bit more compelling, but this is more, this is what he's going to be. This is where he's working at, and the rarefied, lovers of literature. Unfortunately, I'm sure that does happen in academe, but you also get plenty of domination by the world, and people who can talk a good game but know fucking nothing, and who are just there to kind of blow smoke up your ass and lord it over the people that they can. It's interesting using kind of physical handicaps, physical deformity, to represent these two characters. I mean, I guess you would say Lomax actually does know what he's talking about, but that he's supporting someone like Walker. It's like calling a guy who is got physical infirmities Walker. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, it's might be one of the ways that you kind of have to think about the novel as, they talk about, using if someone's ugly, they're evil kind of thing. It's like, is that what we're kind of going at here? I don't know, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. I will get through the final bit of this chapter and maybe check in again. I just wanted to get this out of me right now while I still remembered it, because I like getting all this down fresh for Stoner. All right, I will leave it there. More videos later.